It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So, a good performance from both teams here today.
Hi, you're watching Firstpost with me, Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. Well, on the show today, Pakistan cricket continues to be in turmoil. Babar Azam has stepped down as captain of white ball format once again. Who will take up affairs at the helm now? Where does this take Pakistan cricket? And what do Pakistan supporters have to say? The situation in West Asia gets more tense with Iran attacking Israel and joining the already war-torn countries list. But how is that hurting India and football? Stay on to know more on that. And to end on a lighter note, Lionel Messi is a legend on the field, but his biggest role clearly continues to be that of being the good father. What extent does he have to go to gain his children's approval? It involves superheroes and football matches. But first, let's take a look at the headlines on Sports 360. Starting with tennis, second seed Carlos Alcaraz emerged victorious in the China Open final, beating world number 1 and star under a cloud, Jannik Sinner. Despite losing the first set, Alcaraz bounced right back to register a 6-7, 6-4, 7-6 victory. This is Alcaraz's 6th win over Sinner in 10 ATP matches and 43rd match win this year. Over in football and the Champions League, Arsenal eased past Paris Saint-Germain 2-0 in a group stage encounter. Kai Havertz scored the first goal for the Gunners. Bukayo Saka added a second before half-time. This was Arsenal's first win in 2 matches in the tournament this season. Moving to cricket, New Zealand's Tim Southee has handed over his Test captaincy duties. Southee's decision to step down follows his team's series loss against Sri Lanka recently. The fast bowler says the decision is in the team's best interest. New Zealand next tours India for another Test series. Tom Latham has been named as the Black Caps captain for the bilateral against India. In chess, Turkey's 13-year-old grandmaster Yagiz Khan Erdogmas becomes the youngest ever to reach 2,600 rating points. Earlier this year, Erdogmas became the highest-rated player before turning 13. By doing so, he broke the 35-year-long record that was held by chess legend Judith Polgar. An Indian javelin thrower, Neeraj Chopra, is looking for a new mentor. He is set to part ways with his coach Klaus Bartonietz after 5 years. Bartonietz said his age and his wish to spend more time with his family were reasons that led to this decision. Under him, Neeraj Chopra won gold medal in the Tokyo Olympics and a silver at the Paris Games. Pakistan cricket and uncertainty, the two have a relationship that is so sanctimonious that it almost feels unreal when something actually goes right. Even with the connection camp, as funny as that may have sounded at the start, some small part of our brains were telling us, hey, maybe this is it. And just then, Pakistan cricket reminds us why they are the most mercurial sporting team. Because Babar Azam tweets this. Babar Azam relinquishing captaincy once more feels like the rerun of a very bad movie. And this Pakistan cricket story has grown increasingly dark over the last 1 year. Think about it. A cricket side that always enters mega events as top contenders have been miserable to say the least. They've not had the best of ICC outings over the last 2 editions. But let's keep the results to one side, park it on the side and focus on the process instead. That, in fact, is probably a bigger concern. Their process and their cricket. There is no harmony in that dressing room. Many of you Pakistani supporters earlier probably would have critiqued these thoughts. But I do feel validated now after the players and the PCB themselves came out and admitted in as many words, right after that brainwave of a connection camp that took place on the 23rd of September. They said there was way too much unrest and mistrust within that dressing room to even build something solid going forward. Any tall building needs a strong foundation. That seems to be completely absent here. The connection camp was about resurrecting Pakistan cricket, building the road ahead, creating a new vision. The basis of that is stability. Of course, this opened a meme fest with everyone reacting to this latest development. To think that this passing of the baton of cricket captain has been on for months now. From Babar Azam to Shan Masood in Tests, from Babar to Shaheen in white ball cricket. Shaheen Afridi then unceremoniously being removed after that 1-4 loss at the hands of New Zealand, and it went back to Babar. And now with the resignation, there is little idea and little thought on who the next captain will be. That is no way to plan the future of a cricket team. When there is no shouldering of responsibility and the senior most not really willing to lead the side. Babar, in fact, clearly explicitly stating in that tweet that he wishes to focus just on his batting. That just smells of unrest and something far more troublesome than what we've witnessed here on the sidelines. Remember that there are 3 white ball series lined up for Pakistan and 3 very crucial series here. One against Australia, then of course one against Zimbabwe, and the third against South Africa. Each of these bilateral encounters are going to be very daunting in its own way. They will be tested. The Pakistan cricket team will be tested for sure, and every match will have to be viewed as another preparation round for, yes, the Champions Trophy, the very same tournament that is being played in Pakistan next year. In fact, early next year. Pakistan's very ambitious project. And just picture this. They just received the budget from ICC to renovate their stadiums. It's been in shambles. The authorities are racing against time to get all of these things ready and in place. There can be no loss of face, at least in this regard. They need this tournament to go off well, with no snags at the venues, and then of course no security lapses, the other major concern that's looming large. And in the middle of all of this, right in between it, is the shambolic state of their cricket team, a team that has slowly become so demoralized. And there doesn't seem to be a framework, a proper seamless framework in place. The connection camp that was meant to be a wake-up call, a meeting that would lay the roadmap for the future, has clearly failed. If the biggest outcome of a planned meeting between the sport's biggest stakeholders, the key members, is the captain coming out and quitting, then it's fair to say that it was a failure. Pakistan is looking for a miracle here, something, a new plan of action and a new vision to get their cricket back in shape. They need more than just Gary Kirsten's calm head to tide through this, because the time is definitely running out. The war in West Asia rages on. The long-standing military operations have seen a massive bloodbath in Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, and now Iran has entered the fray after the death of the Hezbollah leader. They launched an attack on Israel just last night, and here's what war does. It supersedes everything. The battle has now started to impact countries and organizations that aren't directly involved in it either. India and football, the latest victims of this catastrophe. India's oldest and one of the most established clubs. You see, the club has refused to travel. Mohun Bagan has refused to travel to Iran for their AFC Champions League 2 match against Tractor FC, an Irani club. This decision by Mohun Bagan was made last night. And guess what? They might pay a heavy price for this refusal. But we'll come to that in just a bit. Mohun Bagan said they are growing concerns over the security of their players after Iran launched dozens of missiles on Israel last night. The match was scheduled to take place later today in Iran's northwestern city of Tabriz. The club say they even requested AFC to reschedule the match or choose a neutral venue. Now, you could ask, how come this decision was taken at the very last minute? The match was today. Why does it feel like it was out of the blue? Fair to ask, but here's the answer. Mohun Bagan have been tracking the troubled developments in the region over the last many days. In fact, the situation has changed over the last few days. Not that it was too drastically different before, but since the death of the Hezbollah leader in Iran, Mohun Bagan has been very skeptical, especially with concerns over a retaliation from Israel.
Iran made a big mistake tonight, and it will pay for it. The regime in Iran does not understand our determination to defend ourselves and our determination to retaliate against our enemies. Sinwar and Deif didn't understand it. Nasrallah or Mohsen didn't understand it. Apparently, there are those in Tehran who do not understand this either. They will understand. We will keep to the rule we have determined. Whoever attacks us, we attack them.
The situation is so tense that many countries like Australia, Portugal and Spain have advised their citizens to avoid travelling to Iran. Australia has said that the attacks could happen anytime without any warning. Even many Indian airlines have avoided the Iranian airspace since April this year due to the tensions over the region. So at such a time, when countries are busy issuing travel advisories and making Iran a no-fly zone, how can a football club force its players to travel there? Also, 3 members from the coaching team and defender Alberto Rodriguez are from Spain. The other foreign players belonging to Scotland and Portugal in Mohun Bagan, the very same countries that have asked their own citizens not to travel to Iran. So AFC has to sense the gravity of the situation. Mohun Bagan's decision, though, has found some support in the voices of fans. And while AFC was tight-lipped over the matter for days now, they finally responded after Mohun Bagan's announcement of refusing to travel to Iran. Now, what do we know? According to the AFC rulebook, if a club decides not to travel for a scheduled match, it will be fined up to $50,000. That's not all. There's a possible ban that they can face from the competition for multiple years, depending on the decision taken. But that can come into play under normal circumstances. Should the same rule apply in this instance? I would think not, because the situation in West Asia has affected the sporting structure in and around the region rather massively. It started with the Palestinian Football Federation suspending their domestic league last year. The Lebanese Football Federation followed recently, suspending all of their domestic football competitions indefinitely. And it's not just the domestic matches, even international games have been affected by the wars. So why couldn't officials at the AFC have had that foresight? They missed the bus on preempting the situation and avoiding such friction. So all that can hope for right now is to get some damage control done. Will AFC be rigid on their rule book, or will sense prevail, making them understand Mohun Bagan's stand and their constraints? AFC will have to be a little more sensible before they address this matter. It would be safe to call Lionel Messi a superhero. The footballer can dribble past defenders, threaten them on the pitch, and score a goal from near impossible situations. And while the football genius tag was enough to cement his legacy, the Argentine is going a step further by including some superhero moves on the field. Now you can see the Hollywood influence in Messi and his family ever since the start of the player's arrival in Major League Soccer and his Inter Miami team. Messi has been the competitive father, though, refusing to lose to his kids in the backyard. The indulgent father taking his kids to his Ballon d'Or award ceremonies, and now he obliges their whims by showing some superhero moves on the field. The latest edition was Iron Man. The things people do for their kids' approval. It's amazing to watch. Take a look.
The superhuman strength, agility and movements like that of Black Panther. The swift transitions and ability to capture any defender in his web like Spider-Man. The strength of Thor, and finally the guile of Iron Man. These aren't just bedtime stories Lionel Messi's kids Thiago, Matteo and Cairo hear, but it's something they get to witness their father be on the field. So it comes as no surprises that the World Cup winner has now added these superheroes to his moves on the field. Post-goal celebrations such as this one, looking at the sky and raising his fingers where he dedicates his goals to his grandmother, is sure the classic, or the cold celebration where he just shows his jersey. But that's not enough. Father Messi needs to do more. His kids demand so. And ever since Messi's arrival in America, these celebrations have been replaced by superhero moves. A family clearly smitten by the Hollywood bug.
My 3 sons are still on vacation, have not started school yet, so every night we watch Marvel superhero movies. They came up with the idea and asked that whenever I have a game and score a goal, I do a Marvel superhero celebration. That's how it started, and we continued that ritual.
That's the power of Messi's kids. They made an otherwise reserved footballer enact superhero moves on the field. Sounds comical, but hey, got to do what you got to do if you're missing dinners at home with the family. There's a price to pay. Messi's first Marvel celebration came against Atlanta United last year, and he started with the classic Thor's stretched out arm. Messi did the Black Panther celebration against Orlando City, where he crossed his arms across the chest. Finally, shooting the webs like Spider-Man against Charlotte FC. Although for Iron Man to come into the picture, Messi's kids had to wait for a while. He did that during the recent 1-1 tie against Charlotte. Messi clearly has caught the Hollywood bug, because before doing a Marvel superhero, he was a bad boy too. Messi was part of the promotional campaign for Bad Boys Ride or Die the movie. In the role, he linked up with celebrated actors Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Although Messi's role was quite brief, it was enough for fans to go crazy. Messi just said one thing in English: Bad Boys. The star-studded scene immediately went viral. So like a typical Hollywood actor, Messi has now been a bad boy and a Marvel superhero. So what's next for the talented footballer? A rom-com? Because for that, he won't need any acting classes either. All he needs to do is be his natural self like he is with his wife. And the story is quite fascinating too. 2 childhood sweethearts meet, fall in love, stay with each other through thick and thin, and end up getting married while the stardom continues. A typical Hollywood plot and a potential blockbuster too. Maybe the Hollywood touch suits Lionel Messi and his family.
Time for last serve. Esports is rapidly gaining fandom and momentum the world over, and it's making its way into global sporting events too. The Tokyo Game show witnessed more than 274,000 participants. Take a look. Almost feels like you're thrown into the middle of a festival there. That wraps up First Sports here today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election. Explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.